Hello little dreamers and grown-ups too. Ready for some stories? Great. Benny and the Air Lantern Song. High above a sleeping valley, Benny the Bear and his tiny mouse friend Pip floated on Ron, their smiling cloud companion. The sky was neither night nor day, but something in between. A pale indigo that seemed to hum softly, like the world was holding its breath. Through the hush came a sound, long, low, and shimmering. It wasn't music exactly, but more like a thread of wind stretched into song. Following it, they found themselves among thousands of floating lanterns, each one glowing faintly from the inside, as if lit by memory itself. The lanterns swayed in slow circles. Every movement made the humming grow deeper, warmer, wrapping around them like invisible arms. Pip reached out a paw, brushing one gently. It answered with a single tone, deep and calming, that rippled across the others. A wave of sound and light drifting out into the night. Benny felt his heart beat slow. Ron too moved more gently now, puffing soft clouds beneath the lanterns, as if rocking them to sleep. Each tone carried a forgotten feeling. Cool grass under bare paws, a hug you didn't know you needed, the hush before rain. They settled onto a ribbon of cloud, floating weightless among the singing lights. Pip curled into Benny's paw, her wings tucked close. The humming lanterns drifted above them like slow stars, each pulse quieter than the last. Benny's eyes closed without meaning to. The music wasn't asking him to listen anymore. It was simply holding him, a lullaby made of air and light. The sky dimmed to silver. The hum faded into silence. And in that silence, sleep arrived like a gentle tide. The end. Benny and the Quilt of Quiet Hugs. One gentle evening, Benny and Pip floated high above the meadows on Ron. The sky was turning peach and violet, and the first stars were peeking through, curious and small. Far below, on a hill that seemed to hum softly with lullabies, stood something strange and wonderful. A patchwork quilt stretched across the grass, big enough to cover the whole hilltop. It shimmered faintly with starlight, each square stitched from a different kind of hug. Warm hugs from sunlit mornings, soft hugs from rainy afternoons, quiet hugs saved for bedtime. Ron lowered them gently onto the quilt, and as soon as Benny's paws touched it, the squares began to glow one by one. Pip skipped across a patch of golden thread and giggled when it made the sound of a happy sigh. Ron puffed softly, arranging the quilt around like a giant, glowing nest. The quilt shifted on its own, tucking Benny in with the hush of summer wind. A breeze carried scents of wildflowers and warm honey. Tiny stitched stars pulsed in time with Benny's heartbeat. Pip curled into the crook of his arm, her whiskers twitching with contentment. The world above faded to a hush of velvet blue. The last thing Benny felt was the weight of the quilt, not heavy, but safe, and the warmth of every hug it held, wrapping him in 100 memories of love. The stars listened, the quilt glowed softly, and Benny's breathing slowed until dreams quietly took him. The end. If you enjoy these gentle stories, please consider tapping like and subscribe. It really helps this little channel grow, and we'll be right here every night. And thank you to our Little Dreamers Club, our subscribers. It's great to see you back again. Benny and the Guitar Crater. High above the summer night, Ron carried Benny and Pip over a quiet stretch of space. Stars winked lazily around them. Then a sound. One low, glowing chord, like starlight humming through stones. They followed it to a small, forgotten moon, where a crater bloomed like a sleeping flower. At its center stood an enormous guitar, carved entirely from meteor rock. Its strings shimmered silver, stretched between jagged peaks. Every so often, a cosmic breeze swept through and struck a single chord. Rich, warm, endless, echoing into the universe. The music didn't feel loud. It felt deep. It hummed in Benny's paws and chest, like the moon itself had a heartbeat. Pip climbed the meteor strings and plucked one gently. A soft ripple of gold floated into the crater air. Ron giggled, sending little puffs of cloud to strum the strings, adding airy notes to the low hum. The crater filled with music that wasn't just sound, but color, glowing waves of indigo, amber, and soft pink, curling through space. The stars leaned closer in to listen. Benny lay back on the warm meteor dust. The cord wrapped around him like a giant hush. Pip curled on his paw. Ron hovered just above, glowing faint as moon milk. The music slowed, softened, and held them still, a single note stretching into quiet forever. Benny's breathing matched the chord. His eyes grew heavy. He felt the world fall away, not down, but inward into something safe and glowing. The crater hummed once more, low, soft, endless, and Benny's dreams began. The end. Good night, little dreamers.